I imagine that's been a good week on the back of a good performance and 3 points so early in the season.
Yeah, I think the main thing as a manager and the coaching staff, you want to see the players fitting well, obviously, and you want to see them performing. And when we went into the game, I said I don't think it's a prerequisite because sometimes pre-seasons can be misleading, but I think every manager and coach, well, certainly us, we'd like to see the players in good fitness and in good form and that kind of, that edge to their performances. The eyes are alive and we've seen all of that. So then to take it into a game was very pleasing.
I mean, at the start of the season, it's an unknown. I guess the major unknown was whether you get the team that finished last season or the team that perhaps started last season. You seem to have got the team that...
in a strange kind of season last season, I think we were more looking for jumping back because it's fair to say a very strong second half of last season. We all know that. So I think we're jumping back towards last pre-season, the many challenges we had. But then comparing, I don't think it's probably fair to say compare, but just seeing the difference. And I think there was an obvious difference. I think the players have come back really clear-minded and kind of with a slightly, it's hard to explain, like a slightly more powerful edge to their fitness. Not they weren't fit last year, but a bit more of a hungry edge to get fitter and get really, really sharp and on top of their performances as individuals, I mean. And then, of course, that works into the collective group. So I've been really pleased with that, the way they came back, the fitness levels, the skin fold levels were very good, very low, probably the lowest they've ever been here. And they've shown that with the work they've done in pre-season. I mean, it's early, yeah, obviously, but it is nice to see that work at least get you off to a good start with a nice win. Obviously, we know tough games coming up, but they're all tough in the Premier League.
It is the basis of that what you said to them when you left last season, though? Almost your words ring in their ears.
I think the good thing is with the way the group work and the honesty within it, I think I don't need to over egg it to them. I think they knew, that last year was a real reminder of how tight it is in the Premier League and, how them tight games, you have to work to get them in your favour. And if you're not performing, you get hurt. And I think the early part of last season was a big reminder of that. The balance of a strange kind of season was the power of a group to turn that around and do what we did in the second half of last season. So I think there's an adjustment from them without me saying anything. I think we've got a bright enough group to realise and learn from that. And as I always say, it doesn't guarantee the next season by any means and what we're doing now, but what it does, it gives you a better chance. If you're clear-minded, you're fit, you're well, you know the way that you want to work and the team wants to work, then they're all things that give you a better chance of success.
How much from Magner is actually your advantage after 2 goals this week?
No, he's been good. I learnt last week he's got a grime song as well. Played that to my kids. They seem to think it was pretty good. I, on the other hand, different, not quite my style, I wouldn't say, but no, joking apart, the lads have had a bit of banter with him about that. He's had a pre-season when he played well, hadn't scored, and then he fires 2 in, and pleased for him, pleased for all the team because it was a good all-round performance.
From a centre back's point of view, though, he's a nightmare to play against. I mean,
I think we got players. From being a centre half myself, players have different ways of playing that can affect you. We all know there's some very clever players with just their pure movement. There's some very fast centre forwards, of course. Speaking purely of centre forwards, some clever with their interlocking play with the team, and I think Barnes he's maturing. I think he's worked hard at his game from a tough start in his career when he's playing all over the place, and then worked very, very hard through his years at Brighton and here to really bring some success to himself and what he delivers. And I think he delivers well. He's an awkward customer. He's learnt the game, and I think he's become more and more effective as the season's gone on. As the seasons have gone on, and he's beginning to round himself off. But like I say, he's had a nice start in front of the eyes. But his work in pre-season was good anyway. And so we want it to continue. We want him to continue pushing himself and working hard for the team as well, which he always does.
But like a lot of your players, he's a player that's got better, as you said, season upon season. It's symptomatic of that, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think we try and help the players to develop. We try and guide them to better themselves, first of all, and the team. Most have had some form of move forward, I think. Most of the players we work with, which I've enjoyed seeing that. And he's certainly one of them. But mainly it's down to the players. They deserve the credit because if you're going to listen and put into action some of the stuff that you get offered, then hopefully it's going to work. And I think he's certainly one of a number who have done that.
Danny Drinkwater, what's the situation with him in terms of your mantra tends to be 2 weeks and then you might blood him. Is that your thinking in terms of him?
Well, he came in fit, generally fit, but lacking in football fitness. So the first things first, he's been training hard with the group this week and doing extras. But like I say, his general fitness is good. And then it's getting that football fitness. So that's the next step. We've got a couple of games lined up next week that we'll hope to put into action, and he'll certainly get some football in them.
And we're seeing Ben Mee next. Were you delighted in many ways that the Mee Tarkowski thing could stay together? You know, I know we were talking about.
Well, there's no delighted. That was our choice to make sure it stayed together.
But it's a bonus, though, isn't it?
It's not a bonus because we designed it to stay together. I think what it is, it's good to see that they've started the season well. They've performed well in pre-season. I must say, Kevin Long and Gibbo have laid down a marker in pre-season. I think they've both performed well. But they did start the season very well last weekend. And, you know, there wasn't too much work for Popey to do. He made one big save. But generally, I thought them two and the back five, including the keeper, were very strong. But it often is the case if you've got an attacking threat that we quite clearly even did have last week. And then you usually find that your defending gets better. And I thought the defence worked on the back of a good attacking performance last week.
How big a step up is it this weekend at the Emirates?
Yeah, a good side. They spent a lot of money. There'll be a different expectation, maybe second season for the manager and what he's hoping to produce there. You know, they've always got some talent. We know that. And they can open up the game when they need to. I think it looks like early season and pre-season they've been slightly more defensive in their shape. But I'm not going to remotely say they can't attack because they definitely can attack. And they do have a way of opening teams up. So, you know, we've come across it before many times in the Premier League, and they're certainly one of the sides that are strong at doing that. Our job's to not allow that to happen, of course, and be effective in our own right, and that's what we'll look to do.
At the risk of upsetting you with a stat, I mean, you've got points off everybody off in the top six. I think you've beaten everybody probably in the Premier League, and you've never got a point off Arsenal.
Strange.
It seems strange when
I'm not going to start harping on about some of the decisions that have gone against us, but I think it's fair to suggest that has played its part in a number of the games that we've had with them. It didn't last season, but it has done before that. So, you know, I've always said I know it's the broken record, but you've got to be on top of your performance against the top sides. And not only that, sometimes they might be having a quiet day. You might need the rub of the green. You might need a decision, which obviously, or currently a lot of debate, but I think the decisions will be a bit more measured now with VAR. You certainly wouldn't have had the decisions we had go against us. But when it comes down to it, you've got to perform. It's simple as that, in my opinion. You've got to perform. The top sides are there for a reason. They've got good individuals. They're good as a unit, and we've got to perform. If you don't perform, you very, very rarely get anything against the top side, or against anyone in the Premier League, by the way, but definitely not against the top side. So we have to perform as a minimum to give us a chance of getting what we want.
Just finding injuries, and also Stephen Defoe. Is there any kind of light at the end of that tunnel?
Yeah, he's going well, actually. We've had to be careful with him, and he's had to be careful, but I've spoke to him this week and I've seen him out on the training ground. He's back on the grass. He's working hard. It's coming to the beginning of the really hard work, if you like. He's done some hard work, but what I mean is that almost like a second pre-season because he missed our first one, of course, and almost like his own pre-season. But he's looking ready to begin that process. So I don't want to put timescales on it, but he looks in a good frame of mind at the moment.
And otherwise, not fine from last weekend?
Yeah, Robbie Brady will still be not available because of his ribs, but he's back on the grass, just getting going again. That should be it at the moment.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, how would you assess the Burnley squad? Is this the best squad you've had in your time in the Premier League?
I think it's a very competitive squad. I think, we've, without having huge resources, I still think we've shuffled well over the last couple of seasons, and we've, got a very competitive group. And also the players who've been here a bit longer, as we spoke about people like Ashley Barnes, he's improved as well, and he continues to do so. So we want that from the group that have been here a while, and we want the newcomers to add to that and that competitive edge. And I think that's, our best way of building is small steps and trying to speed them small steps up rather than taking giant steps by making massive signings. I know that's not going to happen here.
Charlie Taylor wasn't in the squad on Saturday. Is he kind of fully up to speed?
Yeah, we crammed a lot of football into him at the end of the pre-season. He missed the first 2 weeks where there's a lot of heavy work in that 2 weeks. It's just, being unfortunate, of course. And so we crammed a lot of football into him very quickly. He'll come back into the thinking. I still think he needs a bit more football, but he will come back into the thinking from a squad member this week and, laying down a marker to try and play, of course.
He's got a battle on his hands.
Yeah, Eric's come in and had a good pre-season. You know, I think the thing that's been very pleasing from the point of view with Eric and Jay, actually, you know, it's different for Drinky just playing catch-up, but them two have come in with that real edge to play. And both have been obviously considered, Eric getting his starting shirt and Jay not quite so, but Jay's had a very strong pre-season. He looks fit and ready, and they've laid down a real marker rather than, you know, sometimes players sign, they might come in and just wait and see what happens. They've actually trying to force the issue, which I'm really pleased with their attitude towards getting the shirt, and Eric's got the shirt currently, and I still think Jay will play plenty of football this season at some point.
On a different topic, the European Super Cup yesterday, we saw an all-female officiating team. At the moment, I don't think we've got any women in this country refereeing above national league level. So, would you like to see a change in that?
I think it's performance related, and last night I thought they performed very well. I watched the whole game and I thought they were very good. I think the VAR decision was a strange one. That was the only thing, but I wouldn't put that on the referee. I think the VAR, which I'm a big fan of, I thought that was a soft one at best, but I thought they all performed very well.
Sean, just on Danny, obviously he's joined until...
Cameras off? Or we're still on? We're still on?
Still on.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter. Just on Danny, obviously he's joined until January. Was that a deal you hoped might stretch to the end of the season, or was it just?
We're not looking at that at the moment. You know, I think Danny knows he needs to get himself going again. He's hungry for the chance, the opportunity. In balance that, he knows he's got to work for it. You know, he's been in a few days now. He's got used to the group. He knows there's a high demand there, high training level, and I think he's enjoying it actually. So first things first, get him fit and well, and then see if he can forge his way into the team, and then we'll take it from there.
I guess you can sort of weigh it up, and then come January with you guys and Chelsea as well as to what's next for him.
We certainly can.
Just on Stephen, there was some speculation in Belgium linking in with a return to...
Speculation?
Yeah, I know.
You're kidding me. Speculation, impossible in football.
The closure of the transfer window didn't stop me asking you about transfer.
Well, no, there's no speculation.
As far as you're concerned, he's obviously working his way back to fitness.
Yeah, he's just getting fit.
He's got a part to play.
He's just getting fit.
He returns.
That's the first thing. Just get fit.
Thank you. And just on Mate Vidra, he missed the 18 last week. I guess just indicative of the squad strength you've got in terms of competition.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that we spoke to the group about. You know, last year we had not a lot of injuries at this stage. We haven't this year. We've got a couple, but nothing, you know, ridiculous numbers wise. And I said to him, I said, look, the facts are the facts. 11 to start, the subs, and then the rest will have to be respectful of that. Come and see me by all means, and we'll chat it through. But I can only pick so many. So the balance is being ready, you know, staying ready for when your chance comes, because then you want to earn the right to stay in the team or stay on the bench or whatever it may be. At the minute, we'll probably find a way of looking at the bench. Last week, 2 centre-halves. Taki had a groin strain, don't forget, so we had to cover that, as well as having a normal, you know, you normally have a centre-half on the bench as well. That could change this week and the weeks coming. So, yeah, they've all got to be open-minded about that.
You still think he's got a role to play, though, moving forward?
I think everyone's got a role to play, else they wouldn't be here.
And just lastly for me, possibility of a couple of the younger lads maybe leaving on loan between now and...
Yeah, there is a possibility, yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.